in the beginning. These are the words that start the text that we know today as the Bible, the words that start this poetic creation narrative where the author describes how God created everything that's around us and how after each detail, after each facet of God's creative work, it being described as good. The only exception is when he created man. You see, God saw that man was alone, and it was the very first thing that he ever said was not good. And because of that, he made Eve, a friend, a companion, a helper, a wife. You see, we were designed to be in community with others. And when we're not, something just feels off. And I feel like I don't have to tell you that. That perhaps you too, after all this time, have felt this sense of loneliness in the midst of self-isolation. You see, we were designed for community, and when we are not there, when we're not part of that, something just feels off. But the truth is, we often fail to realize that in the midst of community. When everyone's together, we don't truly have an appreciation, or at least as great as an appreciation as we do when we're away from them. And I feel like that's a healthy reminder in this world that is so self-serving and self-focused that it forgets to be thankful of the people that are around us. When I think of this concept, I actually think of a song by a band called Passenger that was written maybe 7-ish years ago, called Let Her Go. And in this song, the artist is lamenting the loss of the woman that he loves, saying he never knew how much he loved her until he had to let her go. And I feel like that truth, not knowing how much we love something or someone until they're taken away from us, goes beyond just romantic love. You see, oftentimes we fail to realize how good we have it, or how much of a blessing we have in those that are around us, until those people, those things are taken away from us. But we have this hope that this season is just a season, that it will pass. As Jesus said, this too shall pass. But in the meantime, I think that it's really helpful and really healthy to have this reminder, to be reminded of, hey, I do miss these people. I do miss my community of friends, my church family. And so I know that personally, I have missed gathering with you guys physically here every Sunday, every Wednesday. And this time apart has shown me that I miss being with you guys. I miss all sorts of things, whether it goes from just hanging out and having fun, or worshiping, or growing deeper in lessons. But I'm really, really curious as to what you guys miss the most about gathering physically here together. So what I want you guys to do here with me in just a moment is to grab some note cards. I have 3, and I suggest you guys to grab 3 as well, and a pen. All right? I'm going to use a Sharpie because I'm fancy like that. But you guys can use whatever you have around. And I want you guys to write 3 things that you miss most about church, about being here physically, right? And you can be funny with some of them, but I do want you to at least write one thing that you're very serious, that you really feel like you miss. It could be a person, it could be, an event that you've done that you miss not being able to go to. Just write that down. And I'm going to go do it so you guys have a few moments to do it along with me. So let's get to it. All right. You guys good? Sweet. Family. Don't know if you can read it or if it's backwards or not, but family. Now, I know I've said it before, and I will say it 100 times more. I miss you guys. I miss getting here together and fellowshipping and hanging out. You guys are more to me than just students, though. You are brothers and sisters in Christ. Ones that I miss being with. You see, we are a family. As a theologian, John Porter once described it, the church goes beyond just the four walls of this building, but rather is a universal extended family. A family that is deeply involved and cares for each other. One that doesn't just want to see the individual prosper, but wants to see the whole prosper as well. I miss being a part of the family with you guys here physically. You. I miss you. Yes, you right where you are, watching this video, thinking whatever you're thinking. I miss you. Church isn't the same without you being here. And that doesn't mean that the church couldn't survive without you being here, but it does mean that something is missing, that it feels like something is off, all because you're not here. In the same way, think about it this way. Let's say you go to a family reunion, right? You're excited to go because you have this cousin, let's say his name's John, that you haven't seen in a while, and you are eager to get the chance to hang out with and to go do fun things with. And so when you finally pull up to the house, you get out of that minivan that your parents drove you in, and you rush up to the home and you ask, hey, where is John? And they tell you, man, John, he wasn't able to make it, he had school, or maybe he was sick. Be pretty upset, right? That's how it feels when you're not here. I miss you. And when you're not here, it feels like a part of the family is missing. You see, we are an extended family, and we, as an extended family, long to get together and to be together and to hang out and to fellowship. But I think the analogy of extended family goes a little bit further than just that. And there are three key things I want you guys to think about as we discuss and go through this idea of extended family. And the first one is that as an extended family, we all have different roles to play in it. Whether you're the fun uncle that's the life of the party and is cracking jokes at every opportunity they get. Yes, I'm thinking of you, Stuart, and Tommy, and Carson, and Mika. Or you're the super wise sage of a grandmother who pours into the younger generation that they might get to grow and to learn. We all have a part to play. Now, it might seem like some of us have very similar and identical roles, while others might have very vastly different and unique ones. But the truth is, just as a body would not be able to function the way that it was meant to if it was missing any part of it, so too are we not able to function in a healthy way as a family without you, serving your unique role that only you can. Second thing that I want you guys to take away with, as families, and I know you guys know this, we don't always see eye to eye. But here's what I want to say to that. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Just because we don't see eye to eye, that doesn't inherently make it wrong. You see, we each come from different backgrounds, right? We each have faced different struggles in life, and different things have affected us and shaped us to who we are today. And the key here is that when we choose to listen and to lean into what others have to say, all of a sudden, we find ourselves being able to have this bigger picture of the world around us. We find ourselves being able to relate better to those who are different from us because other people have endured other things, and they can say, hey, look, I know what this person's going through, and I know that the best way to love and to reach them is through this. And that's why it's important that not only do we listen to each other, but that we also make sure to speak up. That when we see a hurt, when we see struggle, when we see longing for justice, that we step into that and we say, hey, I'm not going to let this go unsettled, unresolved. I'm not going to be content with seeing this group of people not being reached to, that I know that I can help. Now, it doesn't mean that we'll always see eye to eye on that or always lean into that, but it does mean that when we choose to speak up, and when everybody else chooses to listen, we find ourselves being a more cohesive and healthy family. Now, the third and final part is, as a family, it is healthy that we are growing. Now, I do want to put some caution here. It's important to realize how we are growing and with what intention we are growing. You see, let's say that I had a wife, right? And my wife and I, we are just not able to conceive children. But we really feel like God is calling us to grow our family. Out of that calling, it would be wrong if we just went up to somebody and held them up at gunpoint and said, hey, we're going to shoot you if you don't agree to be a part of our family and let us adopt you. In the same way, it's wrong for us to try and guilt trip or to make people feel bad to join our faith. to join a relationship with God. You see, the only way that we can ever make true disciples that love Jesus is to be convinced, first of all, that this Jesus guy, man, he's worth it. He is worth investing in and in having a relationship with. If we don't have that first, if we don't have that understanding and that commitment, then we can't reach others. Because it'd be like this analogy I told you guys before. How can you get someone to eat this cheesecake that you've never had? How can you convince somebody that this cheesecake is amazing if you've never once tried it? In the same way, we are not able to love others and to bring them in until we have been convinced in our own heart. And that's why it's vastly important that we are cautious about how we bring others into the family. Another theologian describes this process of bringing others in as dating the church. And I know, hold on with me for just a second, that sounds really weird, but I promise it makes sense. So think about it this way. When you meet somebody, right, there's an initial attraction, something that they do or something about them or maybe something they say or an interest that you have in common. When you want to date somebody, usually it's caused by an initial attraction. And here's where the church gets a little tripped up. You see, churches know that in order for someone to come in to the church, there has to be a reason for them to want to. And some churches, there's two approaches. There's the fun, attractive approach, which looks more like, hey, we're going to be flashy, we're going to have lights, we're going to have really nice music and all sorts of events that attract people in. And those events aren't bad in and of themselves. But the problem is, just like in a relationship, if all that person is offering is a fun time and an attractive appearance, our relationship isn't going to last. And it's the same thing with the church. Alternatively, the church can be attractive by the way that they love, the way that they reach other people and show them that they care in a way that is completely unique and different. It doesn't make sense, but it draws people in and wants them to know more. Now, the next step of this dating process, if you will, is after that initial attraction, you want to get to know them, right? So what do? You ask them out on a date. And how this looks like when you're dating the church is you go to church, you explore, you get to know a little bit more about what is this church thing about. And this doesn't have to mean that you go to a church with 4 walls and a bunch of people on a Sunday morning, but this can look like grabbing a coffee, talking with a believer who is a part of the church, and sharing what is it about the church that makes it who it is. What is it about the church that makes it as attractive as I feel that it is? And then after some time, there's a third part of the relationship, the commitment part, the part where the person looks back on all they've experienced and all that they have seen that has happened in their life and determines, hey, you know what? I think I want to be a part of this, or that they don't. And again, that decision is made not just on how fun they had in that relationship, but rather it's in, do they feel loved? Do they feel appreciated? Do they know that they are cared about? And do they feel like they can contribute to something, that they can be a part of something bigger? And that's why we have to be intimately careful with the way that we try to be an attractive church, a way that we try to love the people around us. Now, guys, these past couple of weeks, we have been dialoguing what does it mean to find our identity in Christ and to reject the labels of the world. And tonight, the thing that I want you guys to take home with you is this idea that we are a part of something bigger. We are a part of this global church, this global family, a family that loves and cares. We are not just these individual ships passing on our own journeys through the night towards God, but we are a part of something bigger. And this family we are part of is a family that is committed to loving those that are around us, those that are hurt, those that are lost, those that are the least of these. We are a family that is not content with the way that things are. We are proponents for love and justice and mercy, and we want to go and bring that love, justice, and mercy to everybody that we can, everybody that we have the opportunity to do that with. So my question for you tonight is, how are you being that agent of love, justice, and mercy to those around you? Not just your friends and your family, but to everyone. even those that you know won't love you back, at least not right away. And the other thing I want you guys to wrestle with is there someone in our church family that there's a rift in that relationship? Is there someone that you feel distant from? Something you said maybe, or something that was done that caused this hurt, that has made it so that they don't want to be a part of this family? Or maybe someone did that to you, in which case I encourage you both, no matter what your situation is, what side of that story you're on, to reach out to that person. And to one, apologize if it was something you did. Let them know that you love them and that this family doesn't feel complete without them there. Or if you're on the other side and you've been wronged or hurt by somebody else, to let them know that you forgive them. That you know that, hey, family doesn't always get along. Family makes mistakes. But that doesn't mean that takes away the relationship. That doesn't mean that healing can't happen or that God is not good. So, what I want you guys to do is to write that person's name down on the same cards that you were writing the other stuff down on, and to be intentional, whether it's right after this lesson or after the group time, and to reach out to that person and to let them know those things. Guys, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the world kind of reopening. I'm excited to get the chance to fellowship with you guys and to see your beautiful faces again. It's going to be a lot of fun the next chance that we get. But in the meantime, you guys know it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I love you guys, and I cannot wait to see you. For those of you that are new, we are about ready to break into small groups, and I'd love to invite you into those small groups. But in order for me to get you connected with the right group, I would like you guys to just comment in the section down below your name and your grade, and I'll make sure you guys get plugged in where you need to be. I love you guys, and I cannot wait to see you soon. Have a good one.